You're the best. Happy Monday, everybody! First of a doubleheader. The professor and the people leads it off. Yes, second show will be underneath. It's just baseball talk, which will be second. Meanwhile, glad to have Stephen Reichel back on. Welcome back, Stephen.
Well, Candy should be happy at 188 stitches because it looks like the Brewers are gonna have the best record in baseball. So,
yeah, they're looking pretty good. Yeah, meanwhile, the Detroit Tigers are barely limping. I don't know what's going to happen with them. They didn't help themselves at the trade deadline. I don't want to get.
If I remember correctly, when we were, not to get off topic, but when we were getting the right after the All-Star game, weren't your Tigers like what was it like?
God,
10+ games up in the division.
Really? Seriously? Really?
Yeah, I'm going there, brother. You already know I'm
going to go there. There were 15. Get your facts straight.
15. That's even worse.
I know. I'm making you look better. I'm making the pupil look better.
I think that is almost as bad as the Rams blowing a 19-point lead yesterday, but that's an argument for another day.
Yeah, it sure is. I'm sure we have all kinds of arguments up here, but I love it anyways with you, man. Reichel, I'll tell you, I got to get you in the field here like I've been out there blasting away. We're really blasting away and bringing our numbers up thanks to you and all the other things I got in my bag of tricks when I'm out in the field, as you can tell. Anyways, guess what? We're going to talk about lacrosse today. Why are we talking about lacrosse today? Because I'm insane, and the MLB on ESPN is going away. So they're going to need some other program. Why not put Premier Lacrosse League in it? And that's what we're going to lead off with tonight. The Premier Lacrosse League has signed a 5-year media rights extension with ESPN. All PLL, as in Premier Lacrosse League games, will stream on ESPN Plus, select games on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. What are your thoughts about that deal?
What happened? Oh,
what
yeah,
happened?
we're talking about lacrosse. That's right.
Yeah, give me a break. Really? Yeah. What happened?
I mean, dude, come on. Outside of high school sports and college athletics, who really cares about lacrosse right now? Apparently, ESPN does, but yeah. I'm not gonna take people who generally enjoy that sport. I'm not gonna take that away from them. But the fact that ESPN's going after, how desperate are you right now? Really?
Well, you forgot seriously and really again, but I'll teach you. We got to get you one of those caps too to put over that grill of yours over the trivia.
We'll work on getting us some fun merch.
Oh yeah, we will. Oh, we're working on that. We haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg. Let me tell you, if you're old enough to understand this, back in 1979 when this network came aboard, okay, Stephen, they had all kinds of crazier stuff than lacrosse. Let me tell you, you name it, they had it. But hey, I got to give our friends in the lacrosse league credit. That is a fun sport. I've never been to one, but I'm watching on TV. It is pretty good. And it is picking up.
I told the Philadelphia Wings were a really good team at one point in time. I never watched it though.
Well, so what? That's good. At least you know who the Philadelphia Wings are.
I mean, I know of the sport. I know how the sport's ran. I know how it's played. But like, it's not one of the big fours. Hell, it doesn't even hold a candle to college football, combat sports. It's barely in the top 10 of sports in North America.
But brother, when you got 24 hours of sport program, you got to put something in there, don't you? I haven't even talked about cornhole on this network.
I'd rather watch NASCAR than watch lacrosse.
Okay, well, watch it. You got some NASCAR guests you want to bring on here too? This show's for that. I know you got all kinds of guests. Well, you keep spinning athletes like they spin webs. No, I'm serious. I mean, I realize the Philadelphia Wings. Hey, listen, I got news for you. It's a pretty fun sport to watch. It really is.
It is. It's just.
I mean, we've talked about
it doesn't appeal to everybody, though. That's all. And it doesn't have the big following that NBA or NFL or even European soccer. European soccer, kicks a lot of these other sports right into the dirt. So, like I said, I'm not taking anything against it. Bravo for them to have it on there, but I feel that's going to be a late night spot if you ask me.
Hey, once upon a time, Steven, the NBA was on tape delay. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, I hated them.
I actually, you know what? You may think I'm crazy. I enjoyed them because I was working in a restaurant back then, and I got to watch the finals later at night, so I didn't have to worry about missing any games. But that was the NBA tape
It was a
delay.
rough time tape delay.
What's that?
So that was a rough time tape delay.
Yeah. Oh, we could get into a whole nother show with that one. Oh, I tell you, you got me at lows, man. That's what I like. Didn't even take alcohol to get me there. But all right, well, more power to lacrosse. Glad they got their major deal, anyways, and I'm happy that they'll get some pub. But we'll stay on the ESPN theme a little bit because they have re-signed Herman Edwards, Jeff Saturday, Andrew the Hawk Hawkins, and Josh McCourty to a new multi-year deals on Get Up, First Take, and NFL Live and Sports Center. What are your thoughts about these extensions?
Always going to have a soft spot for Herman Edwards. God love for Jeff Saturday. Jason McCourty is always someone there. Not too familiar with Andrew, but and listen, when you let a lot of people go and let a lot of this talent leave, and you got money to play around, you're able to retain guys like this. If I remember correctly, a few weeks ago, didn't ESPN retain Desmond Howard for some more college football stuff? So we're seeing a lot of these guys whose contracts were about to expire and things like that, get re-upped and locked down. So, happy to see them being able to contribute to the sport some more. Looking forward to hearing some of their insights, some of their opinions on the up and coming topics, rumors, etc.
See, I'm not going the Herman Edwards route. Number one, I'll tell you why. Herman Edwards never even knew, and here's a guy that knows better, but he doesn't. That he didn't realize that Chuck Hughes was the first guy that ever died on the playing field. He never did. And there's a guy that's older than I am, so he should know better. This guy knows about as much about journalism, and you fill in the blank because I don't want to get crucified by everybody on social media.
Yeah,
Herman Edwards should know
a lot. That's why they bring these guys in for their on the field football knowledge, not to be a journalism 101 major.
Forget about this. This is NFL history. This is NFL history. Forget journalism. It's got nothing to do with it. This is NFL history. I'm telling you. Chuck Hughes, I was at the game. I was all of 8 years old when the guy died at Tiger Stadium. And this
so that's something that stuck with you.
What's that?
I said, obviously, that's something that stuck with you. But
it's in my darn book. It better stick with me. But Herman Edwards didn't know. He thought Damar Hamlin. Oh, give me up. Don't even get me going on there. We got 4 more topics to get to here. But as far as Jeff Saturday, I'm glad they brought him back. I like Jeff Saturday.
You got to relax. I don't need you to bust a gasket while we're on air, brother.
I already did. I don't care. I'm used to it. I had my speech therapy for the day, so I'm entitled to blow a gasket at night. When I got put through here with all that speech therapy, I'm letting it loose, brother. Really? Seriously, really? I am. This is the show. I get to tell it. Look at Stephen A. Smith is getting paid tons of money to do it, although I'm not getting.
He gets paid too much money for everything he does.
Yeah, no kidding. Come on, give me a break. Chuck Hughes, Detroit Lions. Look it up, people. He's the only guy that ever died on the field, and I was at the game many years ago. And when he missed out on when he was talking about Damar Hamlin and nobody knew anything about Chuck Hughes, I was a little bit annoyed, to say the least. Because although the only 2 people on that network that actually got it
personal to you, it was in your own backyard. It was to a guy that you grew up watching. So of course it's gonna offend you in a way that it probably would in others. Probably why. Again, I'll go back to even further. Probably the fact that it happened to Detroit in Detroit is probably another reason gets pushed under the rug and people try to forget about it.
That's true. Well, they do, but let me tell you, when you're young kid at the age of 8, and you're having nightmares with your dad at night, watching a guy die on the field, only to find out later on that's the only one that's ever happened in NFL history. It hits you a little bit harder than most, but yeah. But I mean, I don't get me wrong. I understand Herman Edwards is a guy that could get up and go ahead, has enough energy to hit all those shows they're going to put him on anyways. Doesn't matter. He can't coach anymore. And he messed up at Arizona State, so he left that program in a mess. But Saturday, I like the other two. I don't know much about, so I'm not going to go ahead.
Well, Jason McCourty was a former NFL player, so we'll see what he brings. If I remember, he was a Patriot. So
he probably was. I don't watch as much TV anymore, Stephen. All due respect,
I don't either. Like the shows you're talking about, where I catch most of that stuff is when we see the clips and reels, right. on X or Facebook or YouTube or whatever. I happen to come across somebody like that. Like if there's something I want to see or hear, because we all know a lot of the stuff gets clipped down, so it gets put out. So if I want to hear that opinion of what they were all talking about, I'll have to go pull the video up and listen to the show in its entirety. 9 times out of 10, it's just each and everyone just pushing their own point of view, etc. So every once in a while, you get somebody on there that kind of drops some real knowledge, some real facts, and other than that, but good love for Jeff Saturday. Hopefully Herb doesn't make any more on air mistakes. Jason McCourty should be fun to see what he has to say. So yeah, Paul, let's go.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Paul, thanks for coming in tonight. And I want to make the formal introduction to him right now. Paul Perry out of Buenos Aires. He's from your neck of the woods. So, Paul, since you popped in here, okay, you and Steven and I are going to do a show in the next couple of weeks on the Professor and the People. He's from the South Philly area. I've been looking forward to get him on. And since Paul was nice enough to pop in tonight, Paul, get ready for that WhatsApp notification. Now you have a chance to see Steven on here, and you're just in time for about the next topic anyhow, so I don't have to repeat myself when you come on in about 2 weeks. So get ready for another Professor of People. But Paul Perry's going to join us live from Argentina, Buenos Aires. That's something I've been talking to him for a while. And now that he's on here with you and I and Steven, thanks a lot for Paul for making the informal introduction, because it'll be the three of us sharing the screen. Great stuff, Paul. So now that you popped in at the right time.
Let's go.
But tell you, don't kid yourself. I had him on the Argentine Gringo, and we had some pretty good numbers on the network with this guy. He really is. I talk about a guy that left South Philly a long time ago and has made a new life for himself.
Roots, though. You gotta love it.
I'm telling you, this guy's he's on.
Well, I mean, I'm not faulting him going to Buenos Aires over South Philly. That's not much of a comparison. That's a smart move, Paul.
No, but I'll tell you, he was a heck of a guest. So wait till we get him on there. You can take the kid out of Philly, but you can't take the Philly out of the kid. Glad you mentioned that, because now we're going to go to the Philadelphia topic of the night. One of the great goalies of all time, Hall of Famer, Flyers legend Bernie Perrant dies at the age of 80 overnight in his sleep. Said Joe Watson, a star defenseman on the 2-time Stanley Cup teams. During the Broad Street Bullies heyday, Steven, this is a tough pill for I'm sure. What's it been like the last couple of days?
Everyone has been talking about it over the last 2 days. It's a rough thing to kind of swallow. I mean, we just had Vinny Papali on. Him and Vince were part of the Grand Marshals for the Knights in Venice parade they just had there in New Jersey. Not even 2 months ago. So it's rough. You're hearing stuff from some of the media people and stuff like that talking about yesterday's Eagles game. Was like Bernie kept those 2 field goals out of the goal last night. So I mean, you got people dealing with, like I said, we all deal with death in our own ways. We all mourn in our own ways. So it's definitely one that hits home. I happened to meet Bernie a few times. A couple signings. Couple public events I went to when they did the the Winter Classic here in Philadelphia. Not only did the Flyers play the Bruins, but also the the Phantoms also played an AHL game on that ice too. I wound up getting tickets to it, getting some passes. So, I was fortunate enough. I was able to go meet Bernie.
Wow,
here's
that's a
me
great
back
picture.
in 2010.
That's a good picture. I love it.
My kids had the pleasure of meeting him. Bernie. The thing about Bernie, man, like you could just be sitting there having a conversation with him, and just like he's a regular guy. He didn't have that thing that you see in a lot of athletes, where it's like they have this thing about themselves where they think that they're above somebody, or they're too good to do this. He would stop it. Like, dude, before he even went into where he was doing his event for the Winter Classic, ran into him on the street before he went into Citizens Bank Park. We want them talking for about 5-10 minutes. He's just an awesome dude. And he's definitely going to be missed. Obviously, as you were saying, like he was a critical part of that Broad Street Bullies team. Right. He was he was the stonewall behind the pipes for us for those back-to-back Stanley Cups that the Flyers won, in 73 and 74. Right. So I mean, he was a special part of the community here in Philadelphia. He's absolutely going to be missed. Absolutely feel for I believe his wife's name's Kim. Absolutely feel for her right now. She's probably absolutely devastated. And then obviously, it's one of those things because what he did. You didn't know if he was having any major medical issues, and this is just something that just came out of the blue, And when you lose a guy like that, and you don't have any preparation or knowing that he's in a bad way, it's a hard thing for the community to deal with. I absolutely expect the Flyers organization to do something in remembrance for him this season, especially with a guy like Rick Tocchet being back behind the helm, having a guy like Danny Briere there as the GM. They are going to honor him. I would hope several times throughout the season. Let's give him a real memory and get back into the playoffs and show the NHL what the Flyer organization really is about. We'll see how it plays out, but yeah, it's definitely one that hits home for me. And anyone who loves hockey in the city of Philadelphia knew exactly who Bernie Parent is and what he meant to the city.
Well, the guy's in the Hall of Fame for a reason, right? Because he's pretty good. Okay. So, yeah, we all know. I loved watching Bernie Parent and those Broad Street Bullies. I think what I liked about that era is when the Detroit Red Wings were called the Detroit Dead Wings. Every time they faced the Philadelphia Flyers, it was a matter of the two. That's the most penalized teams, so that was what made that fun.
I don't want to hear it. Y'all stole a cup from us in '97.
Well, I know that was our payback for being bad those years, but we were bad. But I'll tell you, if you ever went to those games at the Olympia Stadium, Stephen, they were pretty good. They were fun. Brian Bugsy Watson was our guy that we really loved too. So he too has passed on. But yeah, Bernie Parent, no doubt in doubt. Bobby Clark is another one of those guys who was the captain of that group, and the list goes on and on. So yeah, rest in peace, Bernie. And what we'll do is when Paul comes on the show in a couple of weeks or so, we'll have him talk about Bernie Parent as well. I'd rather he do it on camera instead of in the chat
room.
It
back up, bring it back around.
Yeah, Paul's a good guy. I actually found him on Facebook. He was promoting the Argentina podcast down in Buenos Aires, and also we made a connection. And before long, he was on the Motor City Mad Mouse show. It's amazing how some of the people
we're only about the good connections anymore, not just the people wasting our time.
No, this guy's good. I'm telling you. And I bring you two Philly guys on. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure we promote this as a Philadelphia special. This will be a Philadelphia cheese steak. Is that what they call them? We'll call this
cheesesteaks.
Yeah, we'll call this a Philadelphia.
We could talk some cheesesteaks. We could talk about a lot of things.
Yeah, we're going to call this a Philadelphia filet with you two guys.
And then, of course, he brings up the other one when we lost Pelle Lindbergh, man.
Yeah, no, Pelle Lindbergh. Yeah, that was another tragic situation.
That was a rough time because you lose Pelle, and then I think that was 80, right? And then 91, you lose Jerome Brown in another car accident, and it was just a weird time, man.
Yeah,
those few years when you lose guys like Pelle, like a Jerome Brown. It's it's sad to see people go that way, but Bernie was lived a lot of life, gave back a lot of life. So we're definitely going to be be missing him for sure. Yeah, in Jersey. If I remember, Jerome was down there in Florida. So
All right, one more topic to get to before we hit the station break. Lex Luger. All he wants is the ability to go for a walk with his wife. Isn't that nice? What are your thoughts about Lex Luger, Steven? You know more about him than I do.
I don't know if you know if you've been updated on this yet, but DDP's got him walking again.
Oh, do they really? Okay.
Yeah, Diamond. A lot of people who pay attention to some of these wrestlers, and a lot like people just downplay a lot of the bumps they go through throughout their careers, and how a lot we've lost more guys in the pro wrestling background than
Right.
any other type of sport that we lost. When you lose guys, earlier in their middle years in life, so. DDP kind of developed this yoga thing, and he's gotten a lot of guys back in the physical shape where they're not in pain consistently. They're not abusing pain meds and things like that. I know exactly what you're talking about. If you've seen Lex about a year ago, he wasn't walking. He was in a wheelchair. They were pushing him around everywhere,
Right.
and he finally got linked up with Diamond Dallas Page. Started doing his DDP yoga.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, about a month ago or so, Lex was walking around without a wheelchair. So, whatever Diamond does, man, he gets these guys' bodies right, and glad to see that Lex is having a better quality of life compared to what he's been dealing with over the past few years, basically being wheelchair bound. It's a rough thing to deal with unless you've had a parent, you've had someone to deal with that. You don't know how rough that is physically, mentally, etc. Once you stop using parts of your body, it's not an easy thing to get it to bounce back to be even a quarter what you were before. No one's expecting Lex to go out there and wrestle a match or anything like that. But I'm sure fans were probably pretty upset over the last few years just seeing him confined to a wheelchair. It's even getting him to stand up to take a picture was a task in itself. So it's good to see Lex is doing better physically in that way. So
well, the update I had was
hopefully him and his wife are able to take that walk really soon.
Yeah, the update I had was a week, but anytime somebody wants to update me after the fact, I have zero problem with that at all. But that said, we do have an update called Candy Ebling, and she's going to give us a station break. 3 more topics to get to. Monday Night Football will be our last topic of the night. But let's go to Candy for that station break.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by your host, Scott, the Motor City Mad Mouth Morganroth. It talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has evolved. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to advertise, you can call Scott 954-304-4941. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. And if you see that red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you haven't subscribed to us yet. And honestly, what are you waiting for? Hit it, like us, share us. Tell all your friends and family. And then also hit that notification button so you get notified anytime we go live, so you don't miss any of our great programming. Okay, guys, guess what? It's back to you guys.
I also want to send a special shout out to all of our Jewish listeners out there as well. Want to wish you a happy Rosh Hashanah and a happy and healthy New Year to all of our Jewish people.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm one of them too, but I want to make sure that I say it straight laced across the board. But hey, listen, with all due respect, I'm proud of the religion I am and all the people out there that stand for what they believe in. and this is their day to celebrate the new year. And hey, let's have a little fun with that. They have a football show. There's a football game on New Year's, of course. Tonight it's the Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens. Not the Rose Bowl, but it works. Okay, but no, just want to give a special shout out to all the Jewish people around the world watching on all of our different platforms out there. Happy Rosh Hashanah. I know Yom Kippur will be coming up soon, but for the moment, in the present, happy Rosh Hashanah. With that said, let's continue on. Deontay Wilder promises Jake Paul will be in for a reality check. Says he will take the fight 100%. Do you believe that?
I believe he does. I don't think Jake would want to take that fight because, I mean, let's be honest. He's fighting Tank Davis. And now the fight's been moved to Florida because Atlanta would not sanction the fight. So they moved the fight there. He is fighting a guy that he has almost 70 pounds on. Okay. He hasn't fought anybody in his weight class. So I would absolutely love to see Deontay Wilder take that fight. Whether Jake takes it is another argument for another day. And I absolutely believe he would knock his socks off. Listen, no one's sitting there saying Jake isn't a great promoter, doesn't care about the sport of boxing, because he does. Anyone who says anything different is a fool. But he's also completely disrespecting what people feel is a sacred part of the sport. There's a reason why there's athletic commissions. There's a reason why there's weight classes. When you put on these super fights or celebrity fights, however you want to word that, you're drumming down what made boxing so great is just let's see who's got the better skill set, who's got the harder punching power, who's able to slip, who's able to block, there's so much fun stuff about boxing, and Jake's kind of taking part of that away from it when he's putting on these fights. Fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. weight class level. With all the guys that he fought before that, they were all, for the most part, like UFC welterweight fighters. That's 170 pounds in the UFC. Obviously, walk around weight is closer to that. It's not something I sign up for. I want him to take these type of fights, like as we're talking about here. Deontay Wilder would be a great matchup. Would be somebody we'd love to see. I still want him to fight the real fights, ranked fighters, fight guys your own age, and put on a show that way. If you lose, you lose.
Right.
I mean, granted, listen, losing in combat sports, whether it's boxing, whether it's MMA, whether it's bare knuckle, whatever it is, even jiu-jitsu. This past weekend, there was a sport fight jiu-jitsu fight, and two girls were in a grappling position. She had like a rear naked choke over the girl's chin. Her arm broke as she's trying to choke out the other girl. No one wants to lose, but unless you really test yourself against top competition, no one's ever going to give him the respect that he deserves. Dana White just went on a podcast with Logan Paul. He's got no problem with Logan. Jake talks more crap than a little bit. So a lot of people dislike him for that. I think he would get the respect he deserves if he actually fights guys in his weight class. He would. Win, lose, or draw. You've already built up your name and whatever it is. And that's the beauty about boxing. Rematches, trilogy fights.
Right.
It's what makes the sport so much fun. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about boxing or MMA or whatever. Those type of things is what draws people in. I don't know what he's scared of, but maybe one day we'll figure it out. But I hope Deontay Wilder takes this fight and puts the kid's head into the third row. Not literally, just figuratively.
No, I'm with you all the way. No, I totally understand. I know Jake Paul has a pretty good sized ego. I get that. It's pretty well been documented here.
What's boxing don't have an ego? I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Well, not unless it gets knocked out, but that's another story. But that's a term obviously relevant for the sport. But the reality is, it is a reality check. And let's not kid yourself. Maybe somebody, when they stick in the ring, if they don't think it's a reality check, ever heard of that one punch knockout that sends you into tomorrow? Yeah, take it seriously. That's all I'm going to say. All right, we'll continue on the boxing theme. Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson agree to an exhibition fight. Both fighters have signed contracts, and the fight is scheduled for the spring of 2026. Are you looking forward to this?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, it's right along the lines of the same thing we're talking about. This is a spectacle exhibition fight.
Okay.
This fight would have been exciting 15 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, we just seen Mike Tyson in there against Jake Paul last October, right? And I think everyone would agree we never want to see Mike in a ring ever again. For whatever reason, we're seeing it again. And now he's going to be going against Floyd Mayweather. Now, Floyd's a way different boxer than Jake is. He's a way smaller boxer than Jake is. I don't think fans, visually, aesthetically speaking, are going to enjoy this fight. However, it plays out. Two totally different styles. Mike isn't the fighter that we seen in the 80s and 90s. That's not who he is anymore. And this is obviously a payday for Floyd Mayweather as to why we're seeing him involved in this one. So
right.
And his style is that Philly shell. You know what I mean? He's the counterpuncher. How active was Mike in his last fight? It wasn't really active, right? Okay. So I think if everyone tempers their expectations now, no one will be disappointed. If you just enjoy it for the spectacle that it's going to be, then you're not going to be too upset. Don't expect don't even expect 2000s Mike Tyson. Just see what you seen last October, and that's probably what you're going to see out of Mike. You might as well just call it a charity event because that's basically what it is. I mean, this is Rocky III, right? This is right. Thunder Lips in the Italian Stallion. This is exactly what this is. It's a spectacle.
Right.
I hope they both get paid properly. I hope that the fans enjoy whatever performance they're going to put on. But this isn't a fight that hundreds and millions and thousands of people should be excited for. Take it for what it is, people, because it's not what the general fan would think it would be.
Well, I'll say this: Mike Tyson's 59 years old, and he enjoys going in the ring. He says it's all he ever knows, anyways. To keep fighting. I hope you're right. It is an exhibition, but you just never know with Mike Tyson. We're talking about a guy that bit somebody's ear off with Evander Holyfield, so you never know what's going through.
Well, that was still like 20 years ago now, right?
Yeah, let me tell you something. I saw the original Holyfield Tyson fight. It was great. When I bought the other one on pay-per-view, I got my head bit off by my ex-wife for buying it for $50, but she didn't mind going to the first one. Oh my gosh. But anyways, Mike, I hope you and Floyd have a good time in the ring and nobody gets hurt. Because the thing that I will point out is JB on October 1st, I will be having a No Limit show, which will be featuring Will Person and Bob Slater, along with Jennifer Horspool, who's going to be on with us. So we're going to be talking about preventative measures with CTE. And we were able to get this opportunity through this very show. The professor and the people, she reached out to us. And now that'll become a fixture on our network coming up, I believe, from next Wednesday. Steven's going to be a guest on there once in a while. And I'm sure Steven will help us try to find some combat sporting people, as he does with every other show that he's able to contribute on as well. So, yeah, I hope they have a good show, and I just hope nobody gets seriously hurt, because when it comes to head injuries, Steven, with all due respect, I have a real soft spot for those. Me being one of those individuals that does have them, I can appreciate it. So, but that said, let's talk Monday Night Football. And I ask you a question, Steven. What offense would you rather have? Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens? Tail of the tape. Ready?
It's not even a question. That's not
even
a question.
Well, it is a question. I'm going to give you the names anyways, and you can tell me the obvious answer. I'll give you mine. But it is a question. All you'll do is give me an answer. Then after that, you're going to give us your agenda. Okay? Detroit Lions. You got Jared Goff, quarterback. Running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. Wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wide receiver, Jameson Williams. On the other side of the coin, you got Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, St. Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins. It is a question now. What is your answer?
What was that again?
Yeah. Okay.
No, I just seen the comment in the chat, so I was getting irritated because I think that's who I think it is.
Yeah. When is the giveaway? Okay. Yeah, I know who this guy is. Okay, but anyways, what is the giveaway? Well, D, don't worry about it. That's all I have to say. What's your answer?
I already said it's Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, in your eyes.
I mean,
Okay.
Listen, I think they got the advantage in every position. Quarterback, I'm taking Lamar Jackson over Jared Goff. Yeah, obviously Lamar hasn't won the hasn't been able to get to that AFC Championship game, get to a Super Bowl, things of that nature. But you look at running back, it's definitely King Henry. Nothing against Jamar Gibbs. I think he's a great running back. He's not a top 5 running back, so you definitely go there. You look at the skill positions on the outside. I would take either Zay Flowers or DeAndre Hopkins over Amon St. Brown. Amon St. Brown is definitely a top 10 receiver in the NFL. But even more so, then we get into the tight end. I would be, I still go Baltimore. So I think the only thing I think the Lions might have over Baltimore is the offensive line, and that's only because they got Penei Sewell on their offensive line. I think that is the only position I would give offensive wise. No one asked your opinion, Josh. You snooze, you lose. You missed that part of the discussion. Move on.
That's okay. Well, yeah, I'm with you. Joshua, you can always go ahead and listen to it early. We have another show following it. As far as I'm concerned, Jameson Williams or DeAndre Hopkins, I would favor Jameson, his speed. He's getting much better with his hands. I love Amon St. Brown, but here's the guy who was drafted in the 4th round, 3rd or 4th round later in the draft. So who would have expected? Goff's been to a Super Bowl. And Jahmyr Gibbs, another guy who drafted, been to a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson hasn't been to one, so go there. Okay. I love. Yeah, I know he's not laughing at me. So you're trying to chase away one of your biggest listeners, Steve. Oh, well, Josh Adore, I wouldn't. Let me give you something to look forward to, though, Josh Adore, in the second show. Okay, and here's this. We will be talking about a food topic in the baseball show, Josh Adore. So, and by the way, there's certain language that we don't use in here, Josh Adore. And one of the things that you abbreviated is a one-way ticket to get banned. So leave it alone.
No, here's the thing. You're crying about something because you weren't here at the beginning of the show. That's not our problem. And then you want to sit there and act like a total fool, and you wonder why.
Right. Yeah, there will be a food topic, Joshua Dorr, and I will say this, a good little teaser though, Stephen, in the baseball show. This is one that nobody will want to miss this one. Mark my word. And it's definitely gone out there and go from there. We'll leave a lot of the other chit-chatter stuff in the chat room to go on here. But as far as to me, again, it's all subjective. I know you're favoring the Ravens. I am with the Lions. But I'll tell you one thing, the Lions got their tail kicked by the Ravens a couple of years ago. We'll see if they can bounce back. They cannot afford to go ahead.
They're in Baltimore. See that's another reason why I like them tonight. See here this goes go.
Hey Joshua Dorr, I'm going to say it one more time, okay? I think if I were you, I would look at the overall stats, and I'm really getting a little aggravated with where your tone is going. So if you want a one-way ticket out the door, you're just about there. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, 80.
I'll say it like this, Josh. He don't have the button on his end. I have it on my end. Keep talking like that. There will be nowhere for you to talk to. Yeah, you guys got blocked from next because you don't know how to control your mouths and not do knuckleheaded stuff. We do have the option to block you. Okay?
Right.
So either check your attitudes and engage with the host in a proper manner, or you're gonna disappear. We love it. We love it. All our listeners. We love all our supporters. When they act right, when you act like the way you do, you tend to go bye-bye. Go for it, Steven. Listen, I'm waiting for the big man to give me the word because I'll do it right now, Josh. Stop playing with me. I'm not the one to play with, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, Joshua. There aren't many places you can go after this. But yeah, back to Eddie Prather.
I like
Baltimore's
Eddie's
due for
comment there too. Like, all right, I'm just sitting there saying they are playing in Baltimore. Baltimore's due for a loss to an NFC team. Well, last time they lost to an NFC team was that's right, when the Eagles came in and put a whooping on them last season. It's a new year. We'll see what happens. Detroit does have the pieces to do it, but if memory serves me, they're a little banged up. It's an early season matchup. We're still looking at sloppy football. That's why I'm going to go Baltimore's way. So,
well, we'll put nothing. Go ahead against Dan Campbell. But this will be an interesting game. No,
really,
with all due respect.
Really.
Oh, come on, Steve. Give me that much. Okay.
No,
Dan
I'm
Campbell
not.
is Campbell anything.
Look at the last comment.
Oh, okay. Joshua Dorr. I'll give you one last piece of advice. We're having a great show. Okay. I would wait for 108 Stitches baseball talk because you'll get the one food topic that you've been waiting a long time for. And mark my word, I guarantee.
Right. I mean, look, you're giving him a bone because he was sitting there.
Well, in this case, I got news for you. When you know what the topic is later off camera, you'll understand why. That's all I can tell you. And then I don't get no more bones.
If it was mine, y'all would have been gone already. All y'all do is sitting there asking about the giveaway when we told you exactly when the giveaway is going to be. All you would have to do, since you're already on YouTube, is look at the numbers and see how close it is. Oh, too many rules. I can't keep up. You really? That's not a lot of rules. Oh, my God.
Josh Azor. Just a little reminder. Well, actually, he's given us a good reminder. Following Professor and the Pupil, by the way, we'll have 108 Stitches baseball talk at 8:45 p.m. Eastern time. Great crew lined up. Lots of excellent topics as well. One of the, does he have a chance to win the giveaway? At this point,
neither one of you have a chance to win nothing.
Well,
how about
that? This is Yom Kippur, okay? Or no, not Yom Kippur. That's coming up pretty soon. That's the one that you don't eat anything for a while.
Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, that's a Rosh Hashanah. But Ty Baruski, to answer your question in a very candid way, since we do have a sense of humor, is Santa Claus Jewish? That'll answer your question about whether he has a chance to win the giveaway. Shana Tova too. Okay, good stuff. Okay, I'm just learning this Jewish stuff. I even though I am one, I've been out of practice for a while. Nothing against it. It's just never mind. I don't want to go there. I'm having too much fun with Steven anyways, because we're having a great time. Steve and I are growing this platform. For all the collaborations I do with this guy with all the outrageous shows, and we have an answers over at the games, man. I got to get, my goal is to get Steven to the Hula Bowl. Hey, Iberuski, okay? Uno dos, one band versus two bands.
I said it on X. I'll say it again. You guys are not actually engaging in conversations with the host on the actual topics that are going on. That's why I flat out said it, that Eddie is kicking you guys right into the dirt because he's actually engaging in what we're talking about. All you guys are doing is crying about stuff about potentially doing X, Y, or Z. When is this going to happen? We've told you multiple times when the giveaways are going to happen. And guess what? I'm the one that has all the stuff that's going to be given away. So I don't think it's a smart, if you want to win the giveaway, to antagonize the person who is going to be doing said giveaway. It makes no sense. I still got plenty of stuff right here. It's right here. Whole list of photos. I got all kinds of stuff that I would love to give to actual people who are going to be involved in the actual shows, not to sit there trying to run your mouth in the chat about nonsense. What's for dinner? It has nothing to do with what we're talking about on the program today. We're trying to talk about Monday Night Football. You guys are sitting there causing nonsense in the chat, and you wonder why I said, if it's up to me, you're not going to get crap. And guess what? Unfortunately, as of this moment right now, it's up to me.
Well, I have a little say in it because I'm sending you 4 or 5 books, but I'm leaving 99.9% of it up to you. Wait, let me finish. I'm leaving 99.9% up to you. I get 1.1%. Well, 0.4%. That's the amount of books I'm sending you. No, I don't care. I hired you as my top guy for social media for a reason, because of what you're doing here. I know what I'm doing when I hire a thoroughbred like you. Yes, Eddie Prather. Praise the Eddie. Good win by the Eagles. Jalen showed his leadership.
See, and
you're
Eddie's still
showing
talking
it in
about
the chat
football.
room. All right, Cyberooski.
And Eddie's still talking about football, and these guys are still running their mouths.
All right, well,
This is why Eddie has surpassed you hand over foot. I am not the leader of nothing. I work with Scott, along Scott, under Scott. I don't work above him. If he felt I was saying something wrong in any way, he'd shut me up in a heartbeat. But guess what? I'm not wrong. You guys are not acting like somebody who wants to actually contribute something.
Hey, Cyberooski.
Which has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Your thoughts on Cam Scatterboo, who what did he do that was so special last night? Did he win the game for the Giants? No, he didn't. Did he carry them on their back? Yeah, probably a little bit. But it has nothing to do with the topics we're talking about right now. It's just you spouting out your nonsense. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, that's okay. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. I'll have a voice for later on. I love you, Steve. You're my brother. You're on the website for a reason as my right-hand man. When I needed a vacation this summer, by the way, you gave it to me. Candy put up 70-some-odd videos yesterday because you made it possible for me to take a break. Cyberooski, I know it's hard. It's really difficult for you to understand. Okay, is this? I'm a professor. He's a pupil. He learned from me that when I'm no longer able to do this, okay, then Steven's taking over. I thought the topic was football. Cyberooski, do you know anything about football? All you guys know about is hockey and what to eat. Come on, Cyberooski, you need to do me a favor. Try to engage and talk intelligently. I used to think that Al Michael said the only miracle on ice, but I'm looking for a miracle in the chat room. Really? Seriously? Really? Oh, I'm having a good time. What's for dinner? Don't worry about it, Cyberooski. All I know is the only thing you're eating for dinner is something called
your mother. That's
beautiful stuff. Great stuff. And yes, Steven, you don't have to worry about this, okay? Here's the reality, okay? Is I know exactly.
Eddie's called for it too. See, listen, people who actually know how to engage will be able to have these invitations happen. Eddie, it'd be a pleasure whenever you're on. Let Scott know to let me know. We'll make it happen.
Hey, Eddie, I got news for you, pal. How about next Monday night? You want to come on? You can come on next Monday night. Yeah, all right, go ahead, cover the Ravens game, Cyberooski, and maybe by the time you ever appear in the chat, I hope you do something called Retention 101. Eddie Prather, reach out to me on Messenger.
There's no way that people give that guy media credentials.
Reach out to me on Messenger, Eddie. We'll bring you on next Monday night. What do you think about that? All right, Eddie. I love Eddie Prather. He pitched up. And you know what, Eddie Prather? Be on call. We might need you this Wednesday night to be on call as well. So I'm going to bring you on the air because the one thing I love about Eddie Prather is this guy here. He doesn't even have to go ahead and have topics spoon-fed to him. This guy thinks about this stuff on the fly. This guy adapts.
Eddie actually listens to what we're talking about. Yeah, he covers from the couch. Exactly. Ain't no one giving
I'll tell you what.
Thank you for proving my point.
Eddie Prather, man, this guy here. You want to talk about a guy that comes in on short notice and does a dynamite job? Prather, Monday night and possibly Wednesday, be on call. If I need you Wednesday, you're the one I'm going to be turning to. All right. I hope you get that and make sure, Cyberooski, Joshua, I will tell you, if you do want to come on later on for the baseball show, try to learn about baseball, but I got one topic you can actually be intelligent on because I definitely know I don't like talking about food on the air, but this is one I don't mind because I thought of Bozo and Oopsie the Clown when I came up with this topic, and I knew it was ideally suited for these guys. Oh, my goodness, you can. And Shana Tova to you guys as well. All right, I'm enjoying this. I'm getting updated. Well, yeah, I am. Oh, my goodness, Shana Tova. Lions, Ravens. Come on, Lions, you need a win, so I don't have to deal with this con.
You cover from your couch because you could never get media credentials, buddy. That's why.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, great short today from the Iceland airport. Oh, I'm sure we will. We got all kinds of shorts. We have all kinds of stuff. Steve and I have a lot planned. We got a lot of our bag of tricks. And tomorrow night we'll even have more. But, Steven, what you're going to do now, my friend? Give us your agenda for the week.
Well, we're gonna have another book writer on the Fan in the End this week. You know, we'll see how Ben's connectivity is going to be since he has let us know that he is going to be on vacation. he's he's doing a little something with the wifey. So if he's on, he's on. If he's not, he's not. Other than that, we just gonna break down everything that is going on in the sports world right now. We're getting closer to basketball coming back. Obviously, the WNBA is neck deep into their playoff run. So big shout out to the Indiana Fever with all the injuries that team has endured this season. They're in the second round of the playoffs. So bravo to them. Hopefully the WNBA continues to grow at the rate they're doing. Other than that, let's break down some football. Let's let's talk some combat sports. Let's talk some baseball playoffs as we're getting down to the last week or so here in the baseball season. Other than that, it's again, we're always going to be pulling out fun content here on the South Florida Tribune Media Network.
And let me tell you, Cybruski, when the time comes for Steve to go to Black Rock, he'll definitely be going for sure. Let me tell you, Black Rock's a heck of a restaurant, Stephen, with all due respect. You get down here one way or the other, we'll get you here one way or the other. Then we'll definitely take you there. There's a lot of things we're going to be doing once we get in person. I have a lot of things I'm working on as well. Great show tonight. I love the explosive nature of the fireworks, even if these two guys, whether they know what they're talking about or not.
When you get fools thinking they can do anything they want without impediment, you got to put them in their place.
Oh, no doubt about it. I agree. Hey, the way I look at it, any way I can join you at Black Rock.
I'm gonna bring an extra pair of boxing gloves so I can hit you right in the nose, dude.
There you go. That's the way you'll be able to doing it. That way you'll be Steve's therapy for the day. So there you go, Steve. Everybody needs a little bit of therapy. Nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing here on the network. With that said, Steven and I
all
will be
need
back.
some type of therapy in one way or another.
Yeah, that's it. I have voice therapy. I'll have balance. I'll have voice therapy. I'll balance therapy. I'll have kind of therapy on the planet. I'm just glad. All I can say, Steve, is I'm glad I met my deductible already. Because I need X therapy sometimes when I get when I have these little minor issues. I get back on. It's just because I'm out there trying to drink X therapy. Well, that's okay. But but if it weren't for X, I wouldn't have come in contact with you and a lot of the other people on the network that I've actually built relationships with. So
as we leave, let's play the smallest little violin for our crybabies in the chat.
All right, there you go. Candy will have to come up with something like that, a little audio thing, so that every time Steven needs another resource, he'll go out there and these tones will be for Cybruski and Joshua. Here, what do we got? You got something, Can? She'll come up with something. That's okay. This woman is unbelievable. If you did that, you would get locked up and put in the Broward County Jail. Well, I guess I'm going to jail. Well,
that means you would be able to crybaby and press charges. That's where the only way that would happen. Or you could just leave us alone and not come with us. We don't need you, dude. We don't.
I think we got. If anybody remembers the Gong Show, remember to gong somebody out?
Yeah. Hey, Cybruski,
listen, I said I was gonna bring an extra pair of boxing gloves. It doesn't mean I'm just gonna sucker punch you. That means I'm gonna give you an equal opportunity to do it to me as well. I'm a fair stand your ground combat type of person. It doesn't mean I'm just gonna when I see you just jump from behind you and start throwing punches at you. I mean, come on, guys, be realistic about it.
Gong Show, there you go. Bring it back. Great show tonight. Of course, it's a great show. He took our best shots and got a little attention to himself. Of course, the only place he's going to get it.
I gave him more attention than they deserve.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Honestly, I just wanted to hit the little button to make him go away, but I wasn't given the authority to do so because it's my network apparently. I love it. There you go, Keith.
Well, we're using that, but don't worry, your time will come, Stephen. There'll be a time comes when I really get sick and tired of it. Then at that point, then all right, I'll turn it over to you. Because I'm waiting to hand this thing over. Thank you. I'll take it. All right. But that's what a great show tonight on the Professor of the People. I'm the Professor. He's the People. Guess what? Coming up afterwards, 108 inches baseball talk. Scott would never ban you. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Keep it up.
If Scott blocked you on X, then there's a possibility you could be banned. So again, keep thinking along them lines.
Yeah.
Consequences come with everything, my friend.
Yeah, there used to. Did you remember the show though? I don't know if you were old enough back then. There was a show I remember growing up years ago. I don't think Herman Edwards would know it, called Truth or Consequences. You remember that show? That was
no, I mean, I remember hearing about it, but not physically.
Oh, it was. I love that show. Truth or Consequences with Bob Barker. Yeah, actually, you know what? They have a Truth or Consequences city, actually, whether you know it or not. Okay, in New Mexico, but the price is right. Bob Barker, people.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Cyberooski.
All right. Well, you know what? I don't plan to sleep much anyway tonight, but even that, one of your better acts, as you always do, right, Shaw? There's the reason why you're on the website. There's the reason why you're my right hand. There you go. Bring out the applause. Candy is 108 stitches after. Listen, you know what? We'll be talking food tonight. Oh yes, Brewski. We're talking food. We'll let you on that one. And believe me, when you talk about this one. There's no dog and pony on this show. We'll leave it at that. But with that, does it for us. Stephen and I will be back tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Inside the Picture. We have a great show lined up. And let your man Ben Troop know this will be a very packed Florida Gators show. So if he shows up, fine. If he doesn't, make sure you listen to it, because I got some sound bites that everybody is going to like to hear about that the Gators said. I had an opportunity to talk with Billy Napier and DJ Lagway after the game. And I've really enjoyed the last few weeks being able to talk to the opponents of the Canes, because you'll be surprised that you get from the other side. Then Candy does a wonderful job with all the videos on the Canes side. This will be a very loaded show. I haven't figured out what I want to put in it, but I have a pretty good idea. I never know, because the wonderful world of football here is something that changes so much. So with that said, that does that's our comical vision.
That's it for us tonight, folks.
All right.
Make sure you stay locked in for 108 Stitches baseball talk.
All right. So on behalf of Stephen Reichel, the pupil, and me, the professor, we look forward to doing better next week. And Eddie Prather will be joining us next Monday night. Looking forward to having Eddie on. And we're going to also bring back the Argentine Gringo in a couple of weeks. So we're looking forward to having a couple of guests joining us on this show. Oh, I love bringing on guests, especially the next two we got lined up. So Eddie and the Argentine Gringo coming up. They can join the party on Monday night. Meanwhile, that does it. Stephen, awesome job, my brother. I appreciate you having my back everywhere. That we will do it again tomorrow night. 108 Stitches baseball talking next with the Dream Team.